my hair in a ponytail. I know I look better with it down. But it's been a while since I tried to make a painting video, so I'm gonna try again. And with this one in particular, I was trying to say in particular and specifically at the same time, and it's weird. I'm going to be finishing an old piece that I tried to do in a very emotional time in my life, which was actually pretty recently. But this is what it looks like right now. It is clearly unfinished. I don't even really know what this is, but I thought I would try to finish it, and maybe it'll look nice. Just to give a little backstory on myself before I really get into this story, I have always used art such as drawing and painting and writing and so on as a form of coping because I'm a very emotional person. I feel my emotions very strongly, and it's very frustrating because I can get upset over the silliest of things, and like trying to explain that to people has become so difficult. I don't really want to socialize with people. I would rather just sit at home and make art, which is why art is such a powerful coping mechanism for me. I can take what I'm feeling and I can turn it into something really pretty and then move on with my life or whatever. And this painting in particular was inspired, or I was inspired to make something that was kind of abstract or whatever while I was watching a documentary on Netflix about Bob Dylan, because I absolutely love his music. I owe a lot of my inspiration from his music. I personally think he's a very interesting individual, both as a musician and a normal person, I guess. He's normal. I don't know how to explain it, but again, I love his music, and this painting was originally inspired because of the fact that I was watching a documentary about him and listening to his music and all that. I was also trying to create something during this time because I was dealing with the very beginning of my parents' divorce during this time, and this was honestly very recently. This was within the last 6 months, and it's been a very, very rough road for me during this time because, again, I'm a very emotional person. I feel everything dialed up to 11 basically when it comes to me personally. I can get upset over the silliest and stupidest of things, and I don't know, it's just very frustrating for me, and art has always been my way of coping, like I said. So when the arguing would start up, I would try to create something to take my mind off of it, so I wouldn't be as upset, so I could try to control myself, I guess, is a way of putting it. But for during this, I kept the majority of my feelings bottled up inside. I did not let them out, and that was mainly because I didn't feel like my emotions mattered anymore because of the fact I'm 22 years old, and I really don't think their divorce should have bothered me as much as it does. And when I say does, it's their divorce has already been finalized, but this was really, really rough on me, and I don't know how to explain it any more than that. Like, I was really going through a lot, and I'm still going through it a little bit. Again, their divorce is finalized, but it's still kind of rough on me. And so during this time, I was trying to create something to keep my mind off of what was going on. And during this, while I was I wasn't working on this one in particular, but I was trying to draw something, and my hands started shaking really badly. And like, I know now it was from the fact that I was keeping all of my feelings bottled up inside, and I wasn't talking about them, and I needed to be, but I wasn't. And this caused my physical body to be in pain just as much as I was in pain emotionally. And it I remember breaking down one time and telling my dad everything hurts because everything was hurting really, really badly. Like I was having a lot of pain in my chest. My hands were shaking because so I couldn't draw, I couldn't paint anymore, and I could barely write for a moment in time, and it was really, really hard on me. So I when I started going back to therapy, I started spilling everything to my therapist and trying to see if maybe that would get at least help my hand stop shaking, and it did. And then I started drawing again and I felt better, but I don't know, something just that painting kept calling out to me, this unfinished piece I was doing. And I wanted to finish it. I wanted it to be pretty. I wanted it to speak. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get it to speak. And I know that might sound weird, but it's just who I am. I also love how the colors coming off of it kind of looks like music. I also love how it almost looks like a tree branch that or a tree trunk that's morphing into a hand, and the colors the wavy colors around it look both like a tree and like there's just light coming from it. And I also like that most of them are autumn colors because I love the fall. I love autumn. It's my favorite time of year. It's not too hot, not too cold. Da 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 da. I am rambling again. But yes, I really, really like how it was, how you could almost view it as two different things. You could view it as either a tree or a hand. And more than anything to me, it looks like music, obviously, because as I said before, I was watching a documentary about Bob Dylan while listening to Bob Dylan, so it's no surprise it was kind of like music in one way or another. And like, you'll see as this video goes on how I start making it symbolize music all the more, especially with the music notes that I started painting. I absolutely loved the fact that I was able to put music notes into it, though. It's kind of, I don't know. I like I like painting music notes. I always have. It's really strange, but it's just what I love to do. And fun little side story for a friend of my parents' wedding. As a wedding present, I actually bought them a picture frame that, like, it had a white canvas around it. I guess it's really hard to describe it, but I took it and I painted a bunch of music notes on it and made the music notes into the shape of hearts and things like that. So it would really symbolize their love, and it symbolized his love for music in particular. And I still go and listen to him play all the time. Hearing him play just is soothing to me. Music in general has always been a big part of my life. So, like, listening to him play music always makes me feel better. You know, the more I talk about the music from my past and all of this stuff, the more I realize more and more how I wound up painting something that symbolizes music. Like, I don't know how I wound up just being like classical artist, I guess you could say, because of the fact I draw and paint and things like that, rather than, writing music or playing an instrument or anything like that. I, music really has played an important role in my life, and I do not regret it. There are a lot of happy memories tied to the music. There's so much that helps define who I am, and a lot of it is based on the music I grew up listening to. It's changed me as a person, and I believe it's always changed me for the better. Music tells a story just as much as a painting does, or as a drawing does, or as simply writing a story. And I truly, truly do love like how stories can be told in so many different ways, and your feelings can be expressed through it, and through these stories, through the music, through art, and I don't know, it's just something about it makes me so happy, and I guess that is what fuels my art all the more, is this desire to tell a story or express myself in a way that I never really got to verbally. I'm guessing that that's why I've gotten so much better at art over the years, is because I'm taking what I feel or what I was feeling during a certain point in time in my life, and I'm making something out of it, and I'm turning it into something beautiful. And it's like as time goes on, things get better. And time does heal wounds, but you have to work on those wounds as well. And I think that's one thing I really can do with my art, and I hope that as time goes on, I can really truly get better at art, and I can tell a story all the more. I can truly tell the story of me through my art, and I don't know. That may just be wishful thinking, but that's what I would like to do as with my art throughout the years. Is I want to get better, and I want my art to speak to people the way that I think it speaks to me. Or maybe my art will define someone else's story in a way I never would have expected, and I would really like to see that happen, but that's just me. I want to be a success in my own right, whether it just be by creating art and making people happy at a fair or something like that, a quick little sale or whatever. If I could change like one person's life with art, then I think I've done a good job with my life. But that's just me. I hope you guys like this. And here is the final product. I mean, I'm not completely finished with it yet. I'm probably going to go back over that yellow a little more and finish all that shading down at the bottom, but I really do love how beautiful this turned out, and this really does make me happy knowing that I was able to make something so pretty like this. And again, it feels like music, not just because I added all the music notes down at the bottom. It just feels like music to me. I don't know how to explain it any further than that. And I really do hope you guys liked this video, and I hope that if you do, you'll let me know down in the comments so that I can make more of this, or I can improve this. And like, I really do want to make good content. I mostly make it for myself and wanting to share it with the world, but I really, really would like it if you guys would like and subscribe, and maybe check out my other content. Tell me what you like, because I like making people happy. That's who I am. I love you guys. Peace out.